Why are K-drama mothers like horrible? And generally, let's put it this way. Why are mother-in-laws horrible human beings, both in drama world and in real life? As a K-drama watcher, by now you know that K-drama mother-in-laws are kind of like the worst things that could have happened to any human being. I was just watching Bonifide Killer episode 5, and that mother in law has been getting on my last nerve since episode 1, talking down to her daughter in law because she's an orphan. Looking at her like, why is she going back to work when her husband is bringing in the bacon? So she's kind of like that traditional housewife kind of mother that says, stay home, take care of my son, take care of your child, do not work, let your son go do the work. And she's upset because she has a career, and after taking time off work, she's going to work. I think the thing that upset me the most was episode 5, where the lady, she called her off work. She knew she was at work, but because they had ancestral rights or whatever it was, she called her off work. Her daughter-in-law follows her to the market. She tries to talk down to her, make her know that, oh, you don't know how to select things, you don't know how to do the shopping. I don't know why that woman derives pleasure in that, right? And then you go home and still make her feel worse than, make her feel just horrible. Talk about the fact that she's an orphan in front of her daughter. Talk down to her. I'm so glad that the younger sister of her husband sent him a message to show up and protect his wife. And the thing that broke the scene for me and like made me upset was, clearly the husband saw that his wife had issues. She had injuries on her hand, and he, put some bandages on it and decided to do the work in her stead. And they were all afraid that if mother sees you washing the dishes, if mother sees you doing housework, she'll be upset. My brain was catching fire at that particular point. But then the mother does actually see him doing the housework, and all hell breaks loose. And she's upset, calls her an orphan, calls her all sorts of names. And at that point, I just started thinking, why this woman is doing this to her. And if you see a lot of K-dramas that we watch, mother-in-laws tend to be this way. Did you watch When Life Gives You Tangerines? Look at the mother-in-law. Aisun, who was Guanxic's wife, I may be pronouncing the name wrong, so please forgive me, had a horrible mother-in-law as well. But because her background was bad, her mother-in-law treated her badly, made her do all the housework. She didn't go to school. Kind of like the same thing that is happening in Bonifide Killer. And I was so happy that at that particular point, Guanxik stood up for his wife and told his mother that this is the last time you will see my wife. My wife is not a house help. And it's the same thing that the husband in Bonifide Killer did in this drama, where he told them that my wife is not a house help. We're not coming for ancestral rights anymore. I have 2 other sisters. I'm a son too. I can do the work. It's not only my wife that will do the work. I was so proud of him at that particular moment, and I wish that they would depict more men like that in dramas, standing up for their wives, because you can't stand up for your wife in private and say, oh, I love you and all that, but in front of your family you cannot defend her. Case in point, When Life Gives You Tangerines, Young Boom, that Ayu's character ended up not marrying. He couldn't stand up to his mother when his mother was talking crap about Ayu and her family. And I was so proud of her in that scene. It's one of the most memorable scenes of When Life Gives You Tangerines, of her saying that I'm not doing this anymore. You can insult me. I will take it because I love this man. But you will not insult my parents. And because of that, she broke up the engagement. Because the woman thought that, oh yeah, I'm from a poor family, I'm from a rich family, I can treat you anyhow, I can do whatever it is I like to you, and you will take it because you are from a poor family. I'm so proud of her in that moment. And I think the greater conversation is this what it is in real life? Because there should be good mother-in-laws. There should be good women who would treat their daughter-in-laws like they want their daughters to be treated. Case in point, The Perfect Marriage. That mother-in-law was kind of like the best mother-in-law I've seen, and I think she's the only one. If you have any references, you can comment down in the comments and we can talk about it, because the one that comes to mind mostly is The Perfect Marriage mother-in-law, where she knew that her daughter-in-law was being once she found out that her daughter-in-law was being mistreated by her family, and this was the person that her son wanted to marry. She didn't even ask any questions, whether she was rich, she was poor, she had manners, she had upbringing. as long as she had once she had gotten to the point of accepting her, that this is the woman that my son loves and he wants to marry, she started treating her like her own daughter. Stood up for her in front of her stepmother, stood up for her in front of everybody. I think she even got into a fight at one point because they talked about her badly. That is a good mother-in-law, and that's the kind of women that I think we should be becoming. I'm sorry, I'm not on a soapbox or anything, but I don't know what the problem is, because they do say that act mirrors life. So are we saying that the vast majority of mother-in-laws are horrible humans who do not have the grace or the humanity to treat someone else's daughters like theirs? A Bonifide Killer is teaching us a bunch of things about secrecy, about marriage, about intimacy, about protecting the people that you love. But a man standing up for his wife, that's a beautiful thing to see. And it's not something you see very often, especially in Kdramas, where the men are weak, where the men are subservient to their families. Because yes, they have this family system where everyone has to be obedient to some degree and are subservient to their parents. I'm remembering one of the stories in Divorce Lawyer Shin, where the woman eventually wanted a divorce, but they were living with their grandmother, and the grandmother was so insultive to both the wife and the children, and the husband did not say a single word, and the wife was the one working and bringing in the bacon. She was the one bringing in the money. She was doing cleaner work and doing a whole bunch of things, and it was just ridiculous. I can't remember the details of the story, but if you remember, Divorce Attorney Shin, I think it was episode 3 or 5 or so, it was ridiculous. So maybe the conversation should be mothers, learning to treat their daughter-in-laws the way their daughters will be treated. Because what comes around goes around. So guys, on this episode of We Need to Talk About It, let's talk about mother-in-laws. Let's talk about stories that are being told and are making us lose our minds, or maybe I think it's pointing us in the direction of maybe doing things better in society or doing things better in the world, so that these K-drama writers will have better stories to tell, because art mirrors life. So if life becomes better, probably we will get better stories. Look at Teach You a Lesson about bullying. I think they're writing a different kind of bullying stories with things like that, where the people are actually taking notice, standing up and addressing the issues, as against just saying, oh my God, there's bullying in the schools, we can't do anything, and raise our hands up and all that. So anyway, K-drama lovers, let's talk about it and let me know what you think about Bonifide Killer and the things that went on in When Life Gives You Tangerines, and all the mother-in-laws and all the whole things and the whole things. I'll see you in the next one. Please like and subscribe our video. If you like content like this, please continue to watch. You can watch here. YouTube should be recommending the next best thing for you, or you can watch our next episode where we talk about our sticky love. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.